The story of Somali piracy begins not on the high seas, but amidst the ruins of a failed state. In 1991, the Somali government collapsed, plunging the nation into chaos. With no effective government to patrol its waters, Somalia's vast coastline became a haven for foreign fishing trawlers and cargo ships. Local fishermen, their livelihoods devastated by illegal fishing and dumping of toxic waste, saw an opportunity in the lawlessness. What began as a defensive measure, armed patrols to deter illegal fishing, soon morphed into something more lucrative: piracy. The early pirates, often former fishermen themselves, justified their actions as a response to foreign exploitation. They argued they were simply reclaiming what was rightfully theirs. Coastal towns like Isle in the Puntland region, with its strategic location and lack of central authority, transformed into bustling pirate havens. The pirates, flush with ransom money, indulged in lavish lifestyles, attracting further recruits to their ranks. The international community, initially slow to respond, viewed Somali piracy as a local problem. However, as attacks grew bolder and ransoms soared, the world began to take notice. The narrative shifted from a local grievance to a threat to global trade and security. The stage was set for Somali piracy to explode onto the world stage, with far-reaching consequences. The period between 2008 and 2011 marked the height of Somali piracy. Attacks skyrocketed, reaching a peak in 2011 with 237 reported incidents and 470 hostages taken. Armed with automatic weapons and rocket-propelled grenades, the pirates extended their reach far beyond Somali waters, hijacking ships hundreds of miles offshore in the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. Among the most high-profile incidents was the capture of the MV Maersk Alabama in 2009, an event later dramatized in the film Captain Phillips. The pirates, holding Captain Richard Phillips hostage, engaged in a tense standoff with the U.S. Navy, ultimately ending in their capture. This incident, broadcast globally, brought the issue of Somali piracy into sharp focus, highlighting the human cost and the audacity of the pirates. The financial rewards were substantial. Ransoms, often paid in cash and flown to Somalia, reached millions of dollars per ship. This influx of money fueled a boom in coastal towns like Isle, with pirates investing in luxury cars, houses, and even marrying into prominent families. Piracy, once a desperate measure, had become a perversely successful business model. The international community, facing mounting pressure to address the piracy crisis, responded with a multi-pronged approach. Warships from various nations, including NATO, the European Union, and countries like China and India, deployed to the region. They patrolled shipping lanes, provided armed escorts to vulnerable vessels, and engaged in direct action against pirate vessels. On land, efforts focused on strengthening the Somali government and providing alternative livelihoods to potential recruits. Training and equipping Somali security forces aimed to build local capacity to combat piracy. Development projects, including fishing initiatives and vocational training, aimed to address the root causes of piracy by offering alternative employment opportunities. The shipping industry also adapted. Companies implemented best management practices, including increased security measures, fortified ships, and the use of private armed security personnel. These measures, combined with the naval presence, made it increasingly difficult for pirates to successfully hijack ships. By 2012, the combined efforts of the international community and the shipping industry had a significant impact. Piracy incidents plummeted, with no successful hijackings reported in 2013. The Somali pirate networks, once highly organized and efficient, were disrupted, their leaders captured or killed. The world breathed a collective sigh of relief, believing the Somali pirate threat to be contained. However, recent events suggest a worrying trend. Since November 2023, there has been a resurgence of piracy incidents off the coast of Somalia, with over 30 attacks reported. While these incidents have not reached the scale of the 2008 to 2011 peak, they serve as a stark reminder that the underlying conditions that allowed piracy to flourish remain largely unaddressed. Several factors contribute to this resurgence. Firstly, the international naval presence in the region has decreased significantly in recent years. With fewer warships patrolling the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, pirates have more opportunities to operate undetected. Secondly, the Somali government, while making some progress, still lacks the capacity and resources to effectively patrol its waters and enforce its maritime laws. This lack of governance creates a vacuum that pirates are all too eager to exploit. The resurgence of piracy off the coast of Somalia is a sobering reminder that the threat, while suppressed, has not been eradicated. The factors that initially allowed piracy to flourish, poverty, lack of economic opportunity, and a weak central government, remain largely unaddressed. Moving forward, a multifaceted approach is crucial. the international community must remain vigilant and continue supporting efforts to strengthen the Somali government's maritime security capabilities. This includes providing training, equipment, and financial assistance to build a robust Somali Coast Guard, capable of patrolling its waters and enforcing maritime law. Equally important are efforts to address the root causes of piracy. Investing in sustainable fishing practices, creating alternative livelihood opportunities, and promoting economic development in coastal communities are essential to deterring young Somalis from turning to piracy. The fight against Somali piracy is far from over. It requires a sustained commitment from the international community, the shipping industry, and most importantly, the Somali people themselves to ensure that the scourge of piracy does not return to the high seas.